GOGI TV is offered free of charge to any setting of incarceration for the sole purpose of providing positive and uplifting programming to any man, woman, or child in prison who wishes to make better decisions in their lives. Any setting of detention or incarceration can request a free copy of GOGI TV episodes. All they gotta do is write to GOGI TV, free video educational programming for prisoners, at P.O. Box 88969, Los Angeles, California, 90009.
I was a psychology student, and my teacher was teaching a drug treatment class, and she said, well, on Wednesday at 12 o'clock, I'm doing a tour of a federal prison where I work part-time. How many students want to go? And I'm sitting there on my Outlook. What time? 12. Okay, I'll go. We got there, and after all of us cleared, we went in through the first door. When I went in through the first door, the door slammed behind me, and it was this big clank of metal. The feeling was visceral in my body. It just kind of jarred me. And then I showed my hand that I had a stamp, showed my ID again, went through the next door. By the time I got out onto the yard, what they call the yard, the last door slammed closed and the yard was in front of me. And it was filled with roses. It was beautiful, and there were palm trees. I did not see the chicken wire, and I did not see the brick buildings. What I saw was this beautiful garden with all these men in uniforms meandering back and forth with school books, and there was this beauty there, this organized paramilitary comfort that I felt, and it really felt like I had this home, like I belonged there in this weird way. I knew at that point that I'd found something that I wanted to do with the rest of my life. 2002 was my first workshop. When I took the tour, right away I was struck by the fact that I had something to contribute. So I knocked on the warden's door. I now know you don't do that. But I knocked on the warden's door. Yes. I said, well, I'd like to volunteer. And he said, doing what? I said, well, I want to empower inmates. And he said, excuse me, miss, we don't want them empowered. I said, okay, I want to help them create teams, and these teams can work real well. And they said, we call that gangs, and we don't want that either. So I was getting real smart with the fact that I wasn't speaking his right language. So I said, well, what would you like? And he said, frankly, we'd really like them to relax. And I said, wow, I'm a great relaxation teacher. But I had 6 students. Classes got as big as 200 men. So 200 men would volunteer to come and sit on lousy chairs and on the floor to listen about change. And that's when I started writing the first book. How I got the title or the first name of coach is probably the most interesting. I had a group, a volunteer group at a federal prison. So I went into the group and they said, well, Miss Taylor, are you a teacher? And I said, no. Are you a preacher? No. Are you a psychologist? No, although I am in school for psychology. Well, what are you? And I said, well, I'm somebody who thinks I can make a difference. And they said, well, what do you mean by that? I said, well, you know, I think that maybe, given the right information, you guys can make good decisions. I can kind of help you make those good decisions. And one of the guys said, oh, you mean kind of like a coach? I said, yeah, kind of like a coach of the mind. Why don't you call me Coach Taylor? And that was in 2002, and I've been coach ever since.
Wow.
You know, I'd say, you know, you guys, you can be in charge of yourself. And they're saying, no, we can't, the system this, the system that. I said, but you got a brain. Oh, yeah, but this, that. You got a brain and you're smart and you can think. You can be the boss of your brain. The men named everything. All of the 5-second light switch, belly breathing, what if, reality check, all the little tools. The men actually named them. I would describe an idea And somebody would say, kind of like a what if. Yeah, kind of like a what if. And then when they'd leave, I'd write it down. And then I had in a series of workshops, had the men challenge what I said or add to it. And like there are 3 parts of your brain: the front, the middle, and the back. The front part is smart, the middle part is emotional, and the back is old habits. So when I'm talking with them about building new habits, I'll say, well, what part of your brain is involved in that one? What's smart thinking? What does smart thinking say? And by localizing it, by compartmentalizing it, it gives they're empowered to actually think that they are in control. If you're incarcerated, chances are you are not breathing correctly. You usually have high levels of cortisol. Quite often you will find that an inmate has balled up fists. When I go onto a yard, almost all of them have their hands like this. Their feet are usually cold. They might have extra weight in their belly because high levels of cortisol. They're all off balance, so they aren't thinking properly. They're thinking from the fight or flight response. And for good reason. It's very dangerous in prisons. So the first thing I do is get them to breathe, get their entire body active in the breathing process. In a safe space where I'm working with them, they can do that. And then I teach them how to do that when they're laying on their bunk at night. After the cell is closed and they're safe again, how to begin to practice breathing and having the whole body breathe. Because it's impossible to be angry and breathing correctly at the same time. It's impossible to be in rage and breathing at the same time. So now we're getting the viral effect of this is an organization that really does care. It's an organization that is providing some simple tools. And oh, by the way, the inmates work at this organization, and the leader donates her time to us. So there had to be this grassroots credibility. It's how can we get the most amount of change in the individual, and then how can we return that individual back home and have them be leaders to exact change.
Do you want me to pretend like I'm somebody you're talking to me?
Nah, I want nobody to be here. Like,
Do you want me to interview you?
nah, I'd rather just talk to the camera.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start off by saying that camp is the easiest thing you can go through. You could either go to YA, go to the pen. It's a lot of other options than camp that they could send you to. In camp is basically not to punish you, but to give you another opportunity.
You take whatever they have, and even if they're using it improperly, any real big talent. Well, Wally's one of the things when I got to the camp, boy, he was just like this ball of energy, alpha male everywhere, and a big problem. Well, I knew, shoot, alpha male, big problem, that's great, my opportunity, let me have him. This guy's gonna own a huge company, this guy has a lot of potential because there's a lot of energy. All this energy needed just to be laterally moved over. So when we went to, you're Mr. Fashion Plate at the camp, why don't you do a design firm? He said, yeah, I always wanted to do a design firm. Okay, well, let's call it Wally Jeans. So we take a competency, which was for Wally, his energy, his enthusiasm, people followed him all over the place, and we just titled it and gave him something to work on. And you get them taking over a competency where the parents would say, you spend too much time on the computer, you're a jerk, you're a loser. Do you know how much money they make on computers nowadays? And kids just, wow, you mean I could do this for a living? Whatever the competency is, whatever talent is showing up, even early, third grade. By third grade, you're seeing talents and personalities. Slap something onto it that they can move that into an area where they can feel successful.
Nothing is given to you. Nothing is handed to you. It's what you do with it. It's what you can take, what opportunities you can take, and what you can make out of it. So I'm telling you, camp is a safety net, man, because they're going to throw you right back into the world, and if you're not prepared, you're going to fall.
What can we look for as we start going into the school districts and doing this stuff?
Well, it's going to be the first time, so the kids got to get used to it. And once they get used to it, and they're young, they're going to pass it on to their friends, like, oh, come to class with me, come chill with me in class. So I mean, like I told her, you might get one kid the first time, next time you can get 2 and 4 and 8, like it just keeps coming and coming.
You gonna either do right, go on that road and do right, or you gonna be stuck in your ways and go on that other road. It's uphill and downhill. Where you gonna go? You gonna go up and above and beyond, or you gonna go low to the depths? You gonna hit rock bottom. Because I'm telling you, it's not gonna sink in till them bars slam shut and you can't open them. There's nobody in this room right now, so nobody's telling me what to say. All this is coming from me, man, because I want to see you guys do better.
Techniques aside, it's an intention and it's an attitude that you've got to have, that you've got to see the world through their eyes, and knowing that every human being makes the best choice they can with the information they have, even if it's a real messed up choice. It was the best they had given all their circumstances. You know, given all their environmental, cultural, intellectual, all their spiritual circumstances, given all of that, we do really make the best decision that we can. And if we respect that, we're giving them the respect of, you obviously made the best decision possible. Here's some additional information, and here's some different tools. Now what kind of decision do you want to make? I swear, people make better decisions.
Everything I'm telling you is a circle. It's going to come right back to you. And in messing up at camp with them little boys, see, what separates boys from men, what separates the boys from the men at camp is patience.
What you want to leave with when 6 weeks is over and they have their little certificates, what you want to leave with is somebody who knows they're in control. They're in control. They're in control. That everything that they do, they're holding the steering wheel. If you go in with just that and you forget how to get there, you're going to get there. You will get there. So the entire crux of it is allow every single client to know that it's their life, it's their decision. They are empowered to do anything they can, and there are no limitations or restrictions, really. Your intention has to be so strong to overcome the negativity they've heard, all the information that you have to be such a force as to outweigh everything in their environment, everything in their family history, everything in their genetics, their culture. You have to outweigh that with your intention. And the second you do that, miracles happen.
We're rolling!
Five, six, seven, eight.
can't control it. It doesn't matter, like you said.
Right.
And like I said, just positive. I always try to be positive no matter what.
Where I have to let go of it and take responsibility for my life. What I've learned most from the book is it's okay to be me. I feel like I've finally found who I am, and I can be me, and it's okay to be me, and I can love myself. I finally stumbled upon something that really has helped me and will continue to help me change the course of my life from where I was going. So I'm really grateful.
I'm in control of my life. I don't have to blame it on my mom and what happened with my past. I'm not comfortable here anymore. I know that I have potential to go be something so much greater. I'm moving out of interior, like this is going to be a life-changing process, and for me, I've come a long way from where I was in the beginning, you know? That book, the tools are lifelong to continue using, and even though I haven't made it to the goal that I want to be, that doesn't mean that I have to stop now.
I think the biggest thing for me has been letting go. Because my pal, yeah, I can hello.
It's okay.
Okay, losing my kids was really huge. The pain that I held on to, that I've carried around with me, I've learned by the tool how to let go of it completely instead of going on with my everyday life, carrying that pain with me that kept me in my addiction. So I didn't have to feel it, you know. And then from there, I built up a fear of being hurt. So I put up a guard, and it just on and on and on. So now that I've been able to use that tool and let go completely and fully, I've also let go of the pain. And like in my heart, I feel free of it. And I can talk about it more openly. I don't feel like I'm a loser anymore. Like I feel proud of myself. I feel good.
I'm so different from everybody else because I'm not, you know? It's kind of funny because they put us in there and I didn't get along with a good portion of these girls. Like I was like, ugh, I don't like any of them. And now I'm sad because, you know, we're going to be splitting ways and I've gotten close to them no matter the problems, and I don't know.
I'll sit on my chair.
Nope.
You're going just to go wink at the camera?
Hey, Chelsea, that wasn't your good side.
Are you recording?
There we go.
I'm too shy. Maybe I'll take one more.
All right, ready?
Lovely.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it took you a while to do.
Congratulations, lady. You know, I remember reading about this belly breathing. I guess that's the one that hit home the best with me because, you know, as you get up in front of a group, you know, you don't want to be too nervous. And so I learned some things I want to share with you. And that's one that people are here for breaking society's laws. Okay, that's sort of a given. It appears to me that many people that are here probably are look at the world looking down on you. Most people aren't going to ever know your history anyway. You tell yourselves, I'm not a bad person. Whatever I did is behind me and I paid the price. And then I hope that the community and society in general, I hope Heber City goes with it. Looks at people the same way. You know? I know some people that probably ought to be sitting where you're sitting right now.
I've lived in this place and I know all these faces. Each one is different, but they're always the same. They mean me no harm, but it's time that I face it.
I just want to show our appreciation and start by thanking Kim and Commander Corey and Eileen and all the deputies here. This jail is one of a kind. They treat you like you're human here, and it really helps when you feel like you're human and you're in this position that we're in, locked up, and we really appreciate them. We want to thank our caseworker, Henry Milian, for supporting us in our desires to change our lives. Thank you so much. You're awesome, and we really love you. We want to thank Coach Taylor. You're amazing. Thank you for taking the time out of your life to come and make us feel like we're worth it and that we can make it. The fact that you flew down here just for this occasion says a lot. We'd also like to thank Jim and Tammy, Jan, Martha, and Teresa, Mayor Dave Phillips, and everyone else who took the time out of their busy schedules to be here to congratulate us on this amazing, wonderful day.
extra special thanks to everyone for all the support we give one another on a daily basis. We couldn't have done it without each other. We came a real long way through our ups and downs, and we have always pulled together and gained strength, knowledge, and power from each other. And we utilize the tools every day in our lives and we keep internal freedom. The last 3 months have been a fresh start to our new beginning of our lives. We thank you so much to GOGI Girls.
Beautiful.
Prepared a thing to a little speech, but I didn't get it printed off because of Corey. He carries a whip. He's like, hurry up, we got to get this on. So, but you spent 3 months in there acquiring a lot of skills and brushing up on those skills and those tools that are needed. When you made that choice to go into this section, and you made a choice to focus on just you, and a lot of times we focus on other people and other things, and it takes us away from ourselves. I would just remind you to, once you get out, and even when you go into another section, and you take those tools with you, remember to use them. Focus on you still, you know, make you time, because it's easy to get caught up in everything else, whether it's out there or in here. If it's hard in here with all these girls, it's going to be harder out there because it's a bigger world, you know. So you can just perfect your tools and get used to using your tools in here, so when you do go out there, you're used to use them. It's like second nature when you go to use them. I'm really proud of you guys. Thank you.
GOGI Peer Coach graduates. So I'd like them to come up and receive their certificates, please. Chelsea. And Stormy. You can just stay here. I'm going to give you another certificate.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a certificate of completion of our GOGI program, and Stormy, you've done a wonderful job. And is there anything you want to say to the group?
Yeah, I just want to thank Coach Taylor and everybody else for being here. The program is amazing, and I have learned a lot. It is a blessing that I had the opportunity to be able to do that program, and I am looking forward to going out there and being the best mom that I can be.
Really good.
Thanks,
Good
everyone.
job. Natasha, congratulations.
I also wanted to thank Coach Taylor and Jim and Martha and all of you guys, therapists, all of you. I really appreciate everything, and I appreciate the tools that I've learned, and it's helped me to find myself, and I just thank you all for being here. Thank you.
Good job. Good job, Ashley. Okay.
I just want to say that I really enjoyed this GOGI program. It's made me realize a lot of things to move forward in my life and not live into my past, and I will take it with me where I go and use it on a daily basis. Thank you to everyone.
Good job, Andy.
I don't know. In the book, I really liked the end where it said, there was a quote that said, "It's better to light a candle than curse the darkness." And I'm going to be a candle. I already am. And, I'm just really grateful for Coach Taylor for putting and everybody that put that book together, because it really put in context things that have really helped me in my life. I love it. It's helping me for a while.
Good job. Congratulations.
Thank you. Unfortunately for me, this is my 4th time, and like I told you before, that book has opened up a new, changing my thinking. There you go, that's what I'm trying to say. But I'm the boss of my life, you know? I'm in these circumstances because of myself, and I can also change these circumstances if I choose to, you know? Like, I don't have to continue to live my whole life in prison and then, you know, think of it as a vacation when I get out, you know? So I don't know, I got big plans for myself when I get out. I'm going to go to school and do some other stuff, and I know that with this program and continuing to take the tools with me wherever I go, whatever I do, and help other people learn them and feel good about themselves, then I can go somewhere.
This is our graduating class.
Ladies, stand.
I'm a GOGI girl, and I must say that my experience at GOGI was very enlightening. It opened up my eyes to see that I could work well with others, I can make positive decisions for myself, how to basically re-enter society making better decisions with tools that helped us. And my favorite tool would be the 5-second light switch, because I like to be able to allow my negative thought to process for 5 seconds, and then on the 6 seconds I switch it to something positive, and it allows me to still be mad about whatever it was and to move on and go on with my day. People make the mistakes and that people make bad decisions, but doesn't mean that we're bad people. I don't ever plan to go back to jail. I've learned how to make better decisions using the tools.
It's like when you're in there and you go back and forth to jail, you come home, you expect like your hands to be open, like you're so excited about going through the GOGI program. You go home, people's not able to understand what you've been through. I went through a situation where we have a tool of what if. What if I was to, say for instance, if someone was to offer me a drink or some weed, and an old friend I seen when I got out, well, what if I would have went with her? I would have lost my sobriety. Now, what if I didn't? I kept my sobriety, my clean time.
What were some of your experiences that helped shape your time in the program?
Well, sharing the experience of our lives with the other girls, the other GOGI girls, just being close in that setting where we could just depend on each other and grow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, how long were you in the program?
I was in the program for a year. Some of the most emotional moments were when people leave. And just hoping the most for them. And also me leaving myself and going out into the world and starting over.
And do you think that the GOGI program prepared you for that?
Prepared me for that. For any situation that comes along in life, I have a tool to use, and that's what I do. And my life is good. Gets better every single day.
Fantastic. Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How are you going to get arrested, be taken to jail in handcuffs, be forced to put on this horrible blue outfit, and then you're going to be put in a place and they're there to help you? Who's ever heard of such a thing? But that's what's going on at GOGI campus. They're there to help you. And where else to help but in a place like that? We're not going nowhere. We got open ears, we're going to listen. Because sometimes when you're incarcerated, you feel, and I'm speaking from my experience, the times that I was incarcerated before I went to GOGI campus, you're incarcerated and you tell yourself, I'm not going to do this again. I don't want to come back here. I know what I have to do when I get out. I have to not do this and not do that, right? And I'm making all these plans on my own. I get released. I'm back to doing the same thing that I was doing. But now I'm in jail. I'm locked up. I have the same ideas. Well, I'm not going to do this again. I'm not going to do that again. But hold on. There's this coach sitting in front of me all of a sudden, and she's telling me, you don't have to do that anymore, Maria. You really don't. You can change, Maria. This is how you do it. I got caught up in it. And I listened and I understood it and I appreciated it, I absorbed it, and I changed my life because of it. I will never, ever get arrested again.
I've been in and out of prison for over 20-something years. I'm 44 years old today, and that was disturbing news to me because I thought I was 42. But, no. Anyway, I was fighting 6 years when I went to her campus. And when I went there, I was like, the judge was like, no, you're going to get this 6 years. You're going to get those. I'm like, man, I cannot do that. I can't see 6. And you know, sometimes you can go back and receive a blessing anyway. Because sometimes you can go back and realize this is really not what you want to do. Because that's not really what I wanted to do. And everybody said, why do you always wake up with this smile on your face? You know, I woke up with a smile on my face because I had came to, I was okay with me. You know, I really began to just realize, okay, you know what? I was out there trying to get high, and that was hard work. That was work. You know, I was dodging the police, I was dodging the probation officer, I was dodging the parole officer, I was dodging my husband, I was hiding from my kids. I mean, that was work, you know? And I was just going crazy. So, you know, getting out by going in for me and my success is the fact that being online with me today. Today, I can say I have a job. I've been there almost a year now. I work at Delhi. I work at the Air Force Base. And me being the person that I am, by me having such a long criminal record, I really didn't believe that I would be able to work anywhere. You know, that's how people, you know, that's been in and out of prison think. We don't think we can get anywhere. We're nobody. You know, all I am is a number. You know, who wants to hire me? You know, because I'm nothing. And that's the way I thought, you know. Even though I walked around with a false pride, ooh, I look good, that I really didn't feel good. You know, I didn't feel good about nothing I did, you know. And today, you know, what I learned about me was, you know what, I can run, I can hide, but guess what, when you look up under that drawer right there, or in that closet, I'm gonna still be there. You know, and that problem's gonna still be there with me, you know. And I don't have to do that today. Today I walk through my fears. If I have an issue, I'll call somebody and talk to them today. You know, I call people that help me. You know, I'm grateful today. I'm content today. I have my own little place. I have my own little car. You know, and these are things that I worked for, honestly worked for. I didn't have to go out there and sell my body. I didn't go out there and sell no dope. You know, I didn't have to go out there and try to call myself being something that I wasn't. You know, today I'm Andrea. You know, I had my AK, it was cool.
And made personal sacrifices to address a specific problem in our community. Their brilliance and their passion are an inspiration to all of us. Congratulations to them. But now let's meet our heroes.
Our final honoree tonight is a woman on a mission. That mission is to help women and men incarcerated to learn the decision-making skills necessary to prevent them from returning to prison after being released, to succeed in life on the outside, and contribute positively to society. She began as a psychology student working in the Federal Correctional Institution at Terminal Island, and through the years of dedication and hard work, and with no funding or paid staff, she developed the Getting Out by Going In, or GOGI, or GOGI. Is it GOGI? Yeah. GOGI. Yes. System. The GOGI system that has now been spread across the county by hundreds of volunteers, many of them formerly incarcerated men and women.
There are 2.3 million incarcerated men, women, and children in our nation, with 90% turning to our communities. It is our obligation to at least give them the opportunity to know what a good decision is. The vision of GOGI has been pretty clear since the very first time I walked into a federal prison. I saw an opportunity to have people self-correct and then go on to spread the word. Here in the mailroom, we process the incoming letters that we get from all over the nation. After they write us and they learn, they find that they can't stop there, they begin to teach others. We have dozens of inmates who would otherwise just be sitting in a cell, now teaching others how to make positive decisions. This is so important because it allows the inmate to self-correct. Each letter that we receive, and it's been over 10,000 letters, just give us the hope to continue to come down here and get more states to send more letters out. GOGI's made a huge difference in the community.
Unsung Hero of Los Angeles Award is presented to Coach Mara Lee Taylor.
If you'll indulge me for just one moment, I'm going to be silent and not think and just drink this all in. Because when times get tough, I'm going to take this picture and use it to inspire me and our volunteers to keep going. Because the task we have ahead of us is not an easy one. And tonight is such an honor. And when Jenny of CCF told me I was going to have to say a few words, I got really nervous. And she said, Coach Taylor, just imagine they're all inmates and you'll be fine. So right now, you're all wearing county blues. Some people wonder, why on earth would you spend time with inmates? They've broken our laws. I mean, don't they deserve to be behind bars? And I say, yes. People who cause harm need to be put away from others. The problem with that is 90% of our prisoners are all released back into society. What's more, most of them are released with fewer opportunities and increased criminal skills. 2.3 million Americans are incarcerated. More than 200,000 women are incarcerated, and 80% of those have children. Children of incarcerated parents are 4 times more likely to be incarcerated. Therefore, we are creating a breeding ground of criminals, and we're going to keep building more and more and more prisons. I am so grateful to be here today because you get to hear our story. And I'm so thankful for CCF to actually look at those unsung or those less popular initiatives like ours. It's a vital and critical part of our community, is to look at those who are incarcerated and allow them to have the opportunity to learn how to make good decisions. Particularly, I'm very grateful for Delia, who is so dedicated to women in prison, and Delia is the one who nominated me for this award, and I want to thank her. I also want to thank Maria Carranza, who's here in the audience. At one time, she suffered from extremely low self-esteem that caused her to have the wrong associations. She's made the choice, and she's dedicated her life to serving others. I want to thank Terry Shadarowitz, because 3 years ago, she was living under a freeway, away from her family, which was less than a half a mile away. Today she's back with her family, and she's leading GOGI groups and going across our nation and actually talking to women in prison. And I also want to thank very, very much Coach Davida Martinez. Coach Davida Martinez stands as an example of what miracles can happen when we empower the person to make the proper decisions. Coach DeVita has been 14 different times in prisons or jails. Yesterday I went with her to the Long Beach courthouse, and before the judge closed her case and said, "No more probation, you're done, you're a free woman." Not only does she change her life, but the life of her children and her grandchildren have changed forever. Her grandchild, who was once in foster care, is now an A student. Would the GOGI group please stand up and be acknowledged for being so awesome? You are my driving force to move forward. Thank you. I also want to read you one thing that if we can get to where Rylan, I would like to read just a little bit of a letter he wrote to me. Coach Taylor, you just saying that I am part of the GOGI family and that I have been damaged but not broken beyond repair has made me weep, as if I am a human and not just a waste of life. It's for the men and the women and the children, the broken children, like Rylan, that I say thank you very, very much for this award. Every single penny is going to go to those stamps that we need to send letters out to them. Thank you.
Speaking from, I've been behind those letters. I've been behind wanting a letter, to receive a letter, because I've also been incarcerated. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. And I got introduced to GOGI by my wife. Now here I am sitting in prison, basically, and she's sending me a book, and here I'm thinking about, okay, is there some way with that she's in this program or getting involved in something where we can get released early? That's what I thought. You know, I figured, okay, this is going to be a way out. No, it was a way out, but it was a way out of being clean, being sober, and practicing the tools that are in the GOGI book.
I've been working with GOGI probably over the last 3 years, but have been teaching incarcerated women for the last 15. So GOGI, like Maria and DeVita have said, has helped them turn their lives around, and now they're here giving back, which is what GOGI is about, giving back. And as David had also said, giving back. Getting a letter means so much. So I thank all of you for being here, and like Maria and David and DeVita said, for you taking the time out of your weekend to come and be part of this.
Well, it was really a great experience to read letters from people in prison, because they are really very thoughtful, very insightful, very cognizant of their problems and how hard it's going to be to solve them. And you can see how difficult it is to maintain in prison. A couple of the people were lifers and, had some really strong challenges, but GOGI is helping them to manage.
I thought the most interesting part about this particular event was actually getting to sit down with the people who started this program and with people who have successfully made it through and changed their lives, and just really be able to see firsthand the impact that even just letters like this can have, and then being able to take part in it.
It's amazing to hear everyone's stories. I'm always fascinated, where people have come from and what's brought, you here today. So I think it's marvelous that we're able to work with you to give back to so much of what's benefited your lives. So it's incredible.
I'm very glad to be here today, and you guys are just an inspiration, an absolute inspiration. So anyway, thanks for having me.
When I told her about this, she said, "Oh, I'd love to write letters." So I said, "Well, come on, there's some letters to write." So she just stepped up, and that's what this is, the Step Forward Day. Yeah. So thank you for being here.
Hey, it's Coach Taylor. I'm at the bus stop. There's the bus. I'm waiting for somebody. We're going to have an interview with somebody really cool. So let's see if she is on this bus. If she's not on this one, she'll be on the next one. We'll get you in a minute.
Okay, so I'm here at the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf, and you know I love to drink my cafe lattes. Well, every now and again I stroll into this one at this corner shop, and I get served by the most beautiful girl, and I'm gonna talk with her for a minute. You know, when I was standing over there on the bus, I was waiting for her to get off, but she slid off and slid by me. Hi.
Hello there, everyone. How are you today?
We're gonna go where it's a little less noisy. We get a lot of traffic here, so we're gonna just slip into a parking lot or something, and we're gonna have a conversation. Let's go. Lead me to the parking lot.
All right, let's go. Now, I've been working here for going on 8 months now.
Okay.
And this place, actually this Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf, it saved me. I was out in Palm Springs. I was homeless, and I was going through a rough patch in my life, and I moved out here, and I came here and I put in my application. I told Wesley, I said, I'm really just looking for a place to relocate and, start taking care of my son. And she gave me a shot, and I've been here ever since.
Oh, that's cool. But you got another bigger story that, this is going to be airing in like prisons all over the place. This is for GOGI TV, like we talked about. Yeah, and so you and I were talking, you asked a little bit about what I did, and I kind of told you about GOGI and everything. And then you asked a few more questions, and then you told me something. What did you tell me?
Yes, my father has been, he is my best friend. And he spent the majority of his life behind bars, and it affected me in a big way. I was missing the most important man in my life for a long time, and it
tough stuff.
It is.
Yeah.
He wasn't there from birth on up. I just met my dad. And he's awesome. He got out 2 years ago, and ever since then, we've had our father-daughter dates. He's consistent. Every 2 weeks, we go out, we go to a play, or we go watch a movie, and getting to know him as a grown woman is a challenge because it was a part of me that was missing that I didn't understand at first.
What was it like growing up knowing that your dad wasn't around, or did you know where he was?
I knew where he was. I was told as a young girl that he was locked up, but he was in trouble for a few things and that he would be home soon. The older that I got, the more I realized what that trouble was. And it was hard. It was very hard.
How did it affect you, growing up and not having dad there? What did that mean to you?
It hurt. All my friends at school, they got to participate in the father-daughter dances, and they would come to school and tell me stories about how their dad took them for ice cream. Little things like that I didn't get as a child. And
were you angry?
I wasn't angry, more so. I was disappointed. I felt like, why didn't I get a chance to have that bond with my dad? What wasn't special about me that I didn't have my father to take me out for ice cream on Saturdays?
So you kind of thought it might have had something to do with you?
Yeah, in a way. It felt like I had done something wrong, because not only was my father missing, my mother was missing as well. I was raised by my grandmother. And we grew up in San Bernardino in a very small town, and questions that I had were unanswered up until I became an adult, and I had to deal with it and cope with it in order to let it go and to forgive him and forgive myself and to move on.
Okay, now this is the part I want you to really, really watch. This is the part that's critical. Okay, so your daddy's coming home.
Daddy is
Tell me about that. How did you hear? What did it mean to you when you first saw him? Were you nervous? Did your heart beat? Did your hands get sweaty? Tell me.
I was so ecstatic. The day that he came home. The day he came home, I actually drove out there to see him. Me, my sister, and my brother. We all drove out there and we met him on the way home. We saw him walk out the gate. You know,
You did? You met him at the gate?
It was absolutely wonderful. I mean, I couldn't even describe it. My heart sang, and you know, it was great. We went out for lunch, and you know, we made plans, and we talked, and it didn't feel like, you know, the day would ever end. And
what was he saying? What was he thinking? What was it like for him?
He wasn't really speaking much, you know. He was just asking questions about, you know, who we were and how life has been, and, you know, things that he had planned on doing now upon release. And he's kept his promises.
Really?
Yes, he has. He has kept his
Wow,
promises.
what does that mean to you? For that man, it was gone for so long, to keep his promises. What does that mean?
It makes it, you know, it removes the hurt that I felt for so many years, because I felt that he had left me.
Wait. Did you hear that? I mean, did you really hear that? I want you to say it again, because so many guys sitting there watching this right now think that nothing can remove the hurt. I want you to say that one more time.
Yes, he did. You know, the day that he got released, and he hugged me and he promised me that he would never leave me again. And it removed all that anger and all the hurt and all the questions that I had ever had, because it didn't matter anymore. He was there. And he
So
made
cool.
up for it. It was 20 years, 20 long years, but that one moment, that 20 seconds made up for it.
Wow. What about your son?
My son.
He has a granddaddy now.
He does. He has grandpa to take him to the park and play catch. And, you know, he wasn't there for me, but he is there for my grandchild. And I kind of feel like, in a way, he's making up for not only the time he missed with me, you know, but the time that he missed with my sister, with my brother. You know, he's there for his grandchildren, which makes me believe that if things could have been different, if circumstances could have been different, I know he would have been there for me.
Wow. Okay. Now you have a shift you're gonna do. Let's walk you to work.
All right.
I'm so excited. The girl with the dad, with the baby, with the job. Everything's looking up for you.
It's awesome. I'm a lucky girl. It took a while, but I have him, so I can't complain.
And now you go to work.
And now I go to work.
All right. See you later. That is really cool. I mean, and that's what I'm talking about, really. Everything you've ever done that might have disappointed anyone can be erased in that magical moment. Those magical moments are what we hang on to. So, learn your GOGI tools and know that those magical moments can be made by you right now. Wow. I think on that one, I'm gonna have another cafe latte.
So, you as I listen to you, I'm picturing, Sisyphus trying to push the boulder up the mountain.
Yes, yeah.
And so, and you're very realistic about what you're up against. So, how do you have a goal for yourself in terms of knowing what a mountain you're up against, and the rate of recidivism is so high, and yet you're dedicated to changing individual lives. Maybe I'm answering my own question, I don't know, but with such a difficult fight, what is your hopes? What will keep you fulfilled in what you're doing?
Well, what will keep me fulfilled in what I'm doing? I remember the first day I walked into a prison, and when the door shut behind me and I saw the roses and I saw the men and I saw the books, I felt as if it was a place of possibilities, an incubator, a scientific laboratory, if you will, of human excellence. It would be my idea that prisons and jails have areas of leaders and excellence, colleges, universities, a place where people get moral values, but not from a religious standpoint, from a humanistic standpoint, that we could provide service providers, empower people to come back into their communities and really make changes. I see it so clearly, just like when the door slammed behind me and there were these roses. I don't see the chicken wire, I see possibilities. And I don't see a man's flaw, I see his excellence.
just ready to bloom. I don't see a woman's addiction to shopping. I see what's beneath that, the hurt that needs to be healed so she could be a good mother. I know it can happen. It's big, but it is not all in vain. As big as the problem may be, it's not in vain. It does change lives. And if I can change one life that then changes the children, or the husband, or the neighbor, I know what we can do. We can make big changes. There's a lot to learn about the resilience of the human spirit.
GOGI TV is offered free of charge to any setting of incarceration for the sole purpose of providing positive and uplifting programming to any man, woman, or child in prison who wishes to make better decisions in their lives. Any setting of detention or incarceration can request a free copy of GOGI TV episodes. All they gotta do is write to GOGI TV, free video educational programming for prisoners, at P.O. Box 88969, Los Angeles, California, 90009.
So I don't know if everybody knows this, but the biggest financial contributor to GOGI are prisoners. And one of the ways that prisoners do contribute is by conducting a stamp drive.
In this institution, there's 9 different buildings. And what we do is we designate approximately 2 people per building. They go cell to cell and ask people would they be willing to donate stamps. We put those stamps into an envelope and we send them off to GOGI and Coach Taylor. And what they do eventually is that gives them the financial benefit and the help that they need to help other prisoners in prison get the material that they need to learn GOGI.
Another way we raise funds is we conduct a biannual food sale, and we submit a proposal to the administration, lay out exactly what food items we want to sell. We contact a retailer out there on the street, and he purchases everything. We sell it to the population. Once it's concluded, we have the accounting department here at the institution cut a check to GOGI, and all the proceeds go right to the organization, and it continues to help the group expand.
Giving back is something that GOGI offers us an opportunity to do. Whether it's the crime that we're in prison for or whether it's the people we've hurt throughout the years of our life, it's an opportunity to make amends to other people. So we want to offer you that opportunity. So please give.
Thank you.
Thank you.